Justice Not Just Legal Part 14 in audio. Ben's voice comes in crisp. Charlotte, it would be nice for you to drop by and visit with Kyle's father, then try to visit Cynthia's father in prison. You will need to contact TJ and have him to pull some strings. They may not want to let you see Bobby since you're underage and you are not a relative. I will work this end of it here in California. I will check out all of the witnesses, then you can go to Shawnee. That is where little Cynthia eluded her social worker. You will truly enjoy yourself up in those Rockies. You need time out and you will enjoy our heaven. The council is ended with Charlotte's last statement. Your plan is great. I am grateful for your love and care, Ben. They visit with Rose Larson. She offers to help in any way she can. She even offers money. She is told it is not needed and that she has already invested her husband's life and a lot of his equipment. The next day they show up at Keith Kingsley's home. The gang insists that Charlotte and Bill visit with him. The rest stayed in the vehicle. Keith is sober and Charlotte and Bill greet him as Kyle's friends. I am sure your son Kyle is alive and happy. Have you heard from him? I also think he is innocent. I have not heard from him and I know he is innocent. He is not the kind of kid that they think he is. I have not done right by him. He never wanted to be home when I was here because of my smoking in the house. He hated my drinking. He would tell me I would end up smoking and drinking myself to death. He has begged me to stop. He wanted a real dad. I have cut back some on both. I had a lady here visiting. She told me she was a seer, you know, that spirit world stuff. She said she knows that my son is alive and happy. I don't believe in that kind of stuff, but I think it was just a blind. I think she knows where the kid is. She said her name was Molly. She would not give me her last name or her address. Alan, the feller with her, seemed very set on getting a hold of a good lawyer for him. He said if I could get my life straightened up, it would help the kid. He was also trying to locate the teen phantom. He said he knew he would help him if he could. Keith, it would make Kyle very happy to have a real father. Alan was correct. The teen phantom would do all he could to help Kyle. The problem is to find the teen phantom. You have a great son, Keith. I am very proud of him. I think it is true what you said about Molly. She knows where your son is. She may even be protecting him. I can assure you his case will be back in court, and if you love your son even a little, you will clean up your life. It will mean a great deal to your son. Bill and I are with a gang that is determined to find him and clear him in the eyes of the law. You have our card. You can reach us 24/7. Keith gives Charlotte 2 photos of Kyle. Here, you should have these. They were taken a little over a year ago. At the door as they leave, Charlotte turns to Keith. She gives him a hug and she pours her love out to him. I hope you love your son as much as I do. We will be in touch. Keith stands gazing after Charlotte and Bill. Tears are running down his face. In all his life he had never felt the love that radiated from that little girl. He knew that she had given him strength to change his life. Those words she spoke came back as an echo in the room. If you love your son even a little, you will clean up your life. Kyle was right. He would drink and smoke himself to death, but that was not going to happen now. He would take control of his life. It was not too late. It is a day later and TJ had planned to meet Charlotte and her gang at the prison. TJ had it all planned. He had managed to pull the right strings. Charlotte had a feeling that there were a few early gifts passed out, or perhaps it was some late gifts. She would never press TJ for the truth. She didn't care to know. It mattered not what he had to do. Justice at any price. It is not bribery when you buy truth and justice. It is bribery only when you buy lies and injustice. That was the way Charlotte viewed it. TJ had taken Bobby Burns' case. It was for a measly $1,000. The payment would be due any time in his lifetime. TJ was not all that jolly about the price. He tried to talk Charlotte up to at least $10,000. She would not even consider more than $1,000. Charlotte bears the burden anyway. She is the one with the finance. It will make Charlotte happy. That is all that matters to TJ. TJ plans to sue child protection. He will sue all the social workers that are connected to the case. TJ would bargain with them to release Bobby without parole. They would return the custody of little Cynthia back to her father, providing the suit against child protection and the social workers were dropped. There would be no publicity against the system, providing that child protection would perform their part. It would be a public apology for their mistake. They get to the prison a little early. Mello, Misty, Bill, Jim, and Nikki take their packs and camping gear and leave the vehicle. Charlotte has sneaky to go with Bill, then she sits waiting for TJ. She does not wait long before he comes in. TJ wanted Charlotte to be with him, of course she would insist on being there anyway. TJ is sure that she will be to the good of all. TJ has a bit of a problem. Bobby and his little girl being nudists trouble him. He will have Bobby give up his rights to pacify the court. TJ, that would not be winning the case, it would be losing it. You are a smart man, and you know Bobby's rights. There are nudists all over the United States. Bobby may be willing to give that right up, but let him do it on his own. Let him do it after he wins his case. TJ, I am shocked that you would have him compromise his rights. TJ looks very somber. Charlotte, do you think going naked is proper? TJ, you shock me. Men marrying men and women marrying women, that is far more stupid than running around naked in their own home. We are speak of rights, not what someone thinks is proper. Do you realize the great creator did not create us with clothes on? Everyone has their likes and dislikes. Some may look better with clothes on, but some may look better with their face covered as well. Not all we look at needs to look beautiful. Youth has much more beauty than maturity, in my thinking it does. Others may think differently. TJ, let's look at plural marriage. Does it make sense to you that for a man to marry two women, and be true to them, for it to be illegal, then a man can have sex with a dozen women or as many as he chooses, then that is okay? It would be great to share a husband with another wife. It would create a very powerful and happy family. TJ is deep in thought. He had never viewed these things, with which Charlotte is confronting him. Would you be happy even if she was younger and she was cuter than you? That would be ideal. I would not feel guilty for the care our husband would give me. My cute partner wife could not rob me of the love I have for our husband, and love given is more wonderful than love received. You give true love and it can bounce back multiplied. I will clue you in on a vital fact. The act of sex is not very wonderful. It is actually pain. Only with true love and care for each other is the sensation wonderful. TJ, do you know the government did not separate church from state? It is saturated with religion. That is the most hypocritical fact of our society and government. Acting by their religion, they separating her from her father. They pretend to love this little girl, because she and her father lived their lives contrary to what is viewed as the norm. They did this evil deed. She was not beat. He refused to send her to school, but he was educating her. She is ahead of most kids her age. It may not be the wisest thing to do, making the statement about the government and law as he did. It seems a bit harsh. That is very strong words he used. The government is run by a bunch of thugs. They just make laws so they can do it legal, but you will have to admit it is sort of true. Mothers start their little girl out with makeup and jewelry before they can walk. Well, it is the same as a religion. They are brainwashed from their birth. The great battle in the world today is one culture against another. You could say it is only mental, but it turns physical in the end. TJ, to expect Bobby to give up his rights to go naked in his own home is not justice. That is his choice. It should be no one else's concern. Charlotte, I am thinking of his little girl. TJ, I can assure you his little girl has more sense and better views of life than most adults do. She sees no evil. It is the filthy mind of others. I like to see girls' little naked bodies. I think they are cute, and I am not a lesbian. I have very strong feeling for boys. Naked little boys are cute too. Youth is beautiful. I do not choose to be a nudist, but I think those who do, should have that right without scrutiny. If I were with the nudists I might learn to be at ease naked. I would have a problem with it. I know the freedom they feel. I like to sleep naked. The reason for clothes is to keep warm, and clothes protect our delicate skin. Clothes also keep us from burning in the sun. Of course, clothes also keep body odor isolated. We would need to bathe more often if we lived naked. Personally, I choose not to live naked. I see too many disadvantages with it. It would be okay some of the time. TJ stares at Charlotte in wonder, then a little naughty smile seeps in. Are you sure you don't want to run for president? You sure know how to cut through all the frills, blarney, and hypocrisy. TJ, we cannot change the world with laws and physical force. We must start a new culture. It will be a role model. It will be so successful that the whole world will want to live like that. Man's iron hand will not change the world. Violence and dominion is not the answer to humanity's coexistence. Charlotte's last statement sort of brings silence to the room. TJ breaks the silence. It is about time for them to bring Bobby. A few minutes pass and two officers bring Bobby Burns into the office. They take off his handcuffs and leave. Bobby, I have put $1 million on your head. You are in my custody, so please don't let me down. I am responsible for your safe return to prison. I am TJ Russell, your lawyer. I talked to you on the phone a couple days ago. The little girl here with me is Sasha Charlotte Chapman. She likes to be called Charlotte. We plan to get you out of this mess you are in. I hear you are a good lawyer, but what's the little girl got to do with it? She is the one that insisted I take your case. You can thank her for my kindness or my folly. It is as you choose. Don't be fooled by size. Sometimes good things come in small packages. Nitroglycerin may look as harmless as water, but you need to show it respect. That is if you value your life. Bobby turns to Charlotte in awe. With a soft smile he speaks. I am very sorry, Charlotte, for my rudeness. I am honored by your presence. TJ explains the plan to Bobby. Bobby responds to TJ's plan. We are suing them for letting my little Cynthia die. What makes you think she is alive? You must trust us. You and I must think she is dead for the plan to work. It is only this little brat's task to know she is still alive. She only had a dream and she thinks your little girl is still alive, and courts do not accept dreams as having any weight. The vital fact is that they must not know that she is still alive. You will have your little girl back. What matters what they know? In fact, it is better that they never know she is alive. This little brat and her little gang will take care of the physical existence of your little girl. Bobby looks over to Charlotte. He is seeing how she responded to being called a little brat. Charlotte gives Bobby a pleasant smile. Bobby turns back to TJ. He is left with an odd feeling. For some reason this little girl likes being called a little brat. That all sounds reasonable. A lady visited with me yesterday. She called herself Molly. She said she was a seer. She didn't tell me that my little girl was still alive. She just told me to take courage. Joy was in my future. Alan, the fellow with her, didn't have much to say, but he did say he respected me highly. He told me I was a very good father. What Alan told me let me know they know my little girl and they know I had raised her well. Charlotte speaks in a very positive manner. Molly is a very wise lady. She knew that to say anything more would hurt you and your little girl. She may know where your little girl is and knows that she is safe and happy. I think Alan was being very honest. Bobby is in awe. This little girl is very forward. A smile seeps into his face. He stares at her with esteem. You are a neat little girl. Not many 8-year-olds think as you do. She gives Bobby a pleasant smile. She sees no reason to set him straight on her age. TJ is shocked at her no response. He comes close to busting out in a fit of laughter, but he suppresses it to a hearty smile. Bobby turns to TJ. He is in a very concerned mood. My little girl contacts the spirit world. Her mother had it also. She knows those Rockies as most kids know their way to school. She is a little thing, but she is as strong and as tough as an ant. She didn't drown in that creek. She is like a little Indian boy. I raised her tough and rugged. I cannot see a cat getting her either, she can sense anything that looks at her, nothing could sneak up on that little girl, if she had any kind of a weapon, a cat would have been badly butchered before it had her beaten. That little thing is as quick as a cat, and she can be just as vicious if she is cornered. It is as you say, I must think she is dead for now, and when I get out of here it will be different. I understand. I trust you, and I am grateful for what you are doing for my little girl and me. You will not regret it. I believe in loyalty, I am a man of my word and I value loyalty. I will give my life for the life and happiness of my little girl. Your $1,000,000 is secure, TJ. Bobby looks over at Charlotte. He speaks softly. Cynthia only had one close friend, Annie D. Fairchild. We called her D when needed. It was a better disguise. We never knew a whole lot about her. She was a runaway, many of them they never find.